Okay, and welcome. This is Jadi, and this week there was in the news that there is a new open source Windows compatible operating system in the market. It is called Free95. Maybe for XP or Windows 95 or something. People were very happy about it. It was a big hype. As you can see, the project got 579 stars on GitHub, which is huge. Also 28 times it was forked, 17 people are watching it. Although there is not a huge pool of contributors, and languages are C, which is cool, C++, I haven't seen it, some assembly, and a makefile. These are the screenshots. The guy started this, claims that I have a working operating system. I'm going to support even DirectX. We may be able to run Doom in his post in Reddit. Again, the Reddit got also a huge, not huge, but okay, it's huge. For OS dev, it's huge. 400 people, positive reactions, 181 comments and everything. He said, I'm building an operating system that's compatible with Windows applications. Currently, it can run basic Windows 32 GUI applications and console applications. I might do DirectX stuff and make some games run. Doom, as always. So, it was huge. And many people started telling him, oh, you are a hero, this is great, how have you done it? And he, on the 10 stars, he was very happy. Now he has 500 stars. Some jokes for your information. There is an open source React OS and there was talks. This is really impressive, good job. And complaining that there are binaries in the repo, and says, oh, whoops. Wherever people pointed to some issues, he reacted with, oops, oh, fix that. This is a mistake by blah blah. Because I was under pressure, I did this, and different things. Anyway, it was very, very heated discussion after some time because the different news outlets took the news. And some of them understood that this is a fake project, but many of them just created a very quick post to have a post about it. So, for example, Foronix had a post. They just added a screenshot and said someone is working on this. And based on the comments, they said, okay, this is going to be compatible with GUI and terminal applications. This is going to support on the next version DirectX and everything. But whoever knows about this, understand that this can't be true. Here on different sites, you can see that they just covered it, freeing Windows, there is a project, and only talk about the claims, not about the criticize and people who do understand OS dev and how complicated this is. If you do a search on Google, there are pages and pages covering this news. But more professional sites like Hacker News, people started complaining, making jokes and everything, and telling him this is very silly, please create a meme based on this and other stuff. Even there is a reddit/r/free95, but here only 15 members. And on osdev.org, which is a huge wiki for people who do OS development, you can see that there is no reaction to this on the forum part. The wiki part is where I talked about. So, what is going on? I spent a couple of hours to read the code. Okay, it refreshes on how you should write an OS. And it teaches you how not to try to write an OS. Also, it shows you some modesty. When you started this, it is cool enough. You can say, okay, I was working on this, I were able to boot a PC using this. Now I have a GUI-like system. I can show some fonts. I can show cursor. These are cool. But when you claim that you are rewriting Windows, professionals will make joke of you, even if you have 500 stars. Anyway, I looked at the code. It was fun, and I will share it with you. This is the project he has. If you go with the 3 lots of files here, and strangely there are different executables there and everything. Here he has, under release, he has an ISO page where you can download and run it using this command. I will show you what he has here. This is what he has. Some intro page and then this environment where you can move your mouse somehow, very buggy. If you go here, it will continue from the other side, super buggy. And you can just go and close this if you are good with your mouse. Trying to close it, it doesn't work, something is wrong. It was working a bit better. Maybe because we moved too much, now we are on the third loop of the page. You mean what I mean? Now I'm on this specific point. If I go all the way here, I'm not on that point anymore. I'm far, far to the right. So back here, and yes, that was the bug. As you can see, this is nothing serious. But it's fun. Oh, I can show you the cursor. I had something. Anyway. Oh, I have it here. This is cool terminal. This is Warp, AI-based terminal. Some people are very mad that you shouldn't push AI into a terminal. I kind of agree, but this is a trend that Word works with. So I won't resist. Big complaint was that you had to log in into your account to use your terminal. Very kind of ugly. They retreated from that one, and now you can just use the terminal. You can log in if you need syncing and other stuff. I have a video about this terminal. I believe it is cool. What I really like was having a company trying to rewriting a terminal as a product. It was nice. Anyway, this is the code. If you browse, I were able to build it. So easy to build. It will give you some boot stuff and some O files, which are outputs. Not a clear way to create an ISO yet. Anyway, you have a base here. You have a boot in assembly. If it was my student, I would check if he copied this from somewhere or not. Not a big deal, but I hope that he understands what he's doing. Description tables, some description tables, copy, jump, what I have, okay. This was the main thing which was being shown there. If I come here, I will go to the background. If you run it again, first the system boots, starting Free95. This is the free ever or forever or freeware or whatever this is. And you can just close it. You cannot interact with it with the... you can. I interacted with it. It shows something like this and you can close it, please. Okay. And then you have to kill this. So this is that one. It says where forever proc. This is what it does. It shows this. It's a window, creates a window, does this, blah blah. Also the main part shows this, shows a go to an instant, create background with a specific color and do this, do that, show window. If you got the mouse, translate message and whatever, and kills it. Here kids thread 2 specifically kills this specific program. If you check this, go to definition. It works like this. No, sorry. I was looking for the... Where is this kill? I was looking for this. And if you are killing something, it just does is active, is false, which is not killing. We will see later. Anyway, let's go to the code. You have different things here. For example, this one, the hello program, very simple. You have a keyboard handler here. It just reads something from the keyboard. And this is the kernel where the magic and other stuff happens. I'm not showing you how to write the operating system. I'm reviewing this because I was checking it for fun and thought it's cool to show you. It was in the hype. I spent a couple of hours, inputs everything. The kernel inputs hello. The kernel inputs freeware, the things we saw. There is a timer handler, just does this, init timer, await. And if you go to the fun parts, for example, here are the fonts. A is written like this, so font is hard-coded in the kernel. If you comment any of these in the issues, he will answer, oh, I was in a hurry, I will refactor. And this is a put char. Oh, this was very funny. It writes a character using with some index, but the fun part was he kind of was a real meme when doing this. Let me show you right now. If you go to LazyGit, if you don't know LazyGit, use it. It's very nice. It's kind of doing a git log, git show, everything, but in a text-based program. You can see that it has 36 commits only, not enough for operating system. And the first one, if you check, is the initial commit, updating the README, then dumping all the source files here. Then some remarks. He was commenting that I'd say this version mouse polling system is buggy. It can fuck up from the keyboard, and because of the polling nature, processes will not run unless mouse is being actively moved. Someone answered, fuck, someone gotta fix it. The whole language in this program looks like some teenager was trying to look cool. Anyway, then the remarks are updated. Surprise, surprise, that's fucking me who should fix this. Then again, updating screenshots, updating readmes, all of this is that one. Someone was complaining that you don't have a license on your project, you just copied this here. Someone complained that copying a license doesn't work as a license, and he went to GitHub and selected it. Removing dangerous malware. He had some malware in his operating system which was killing process 0 and 1 and then doing some message and an infinite loop. Removed that one. So it was super silly one. Merge pull request and lots of other things. I was looking to show you that strange keyboard handler. Later he's also trying to fix his make files. Where are you, keyboard handler? You were very funny and cool. Merge pull request auto, and you can see how ugly this is. Some refactoring, merge pull request, update kernel. This is it. Here he's updating the put character, the one I've told you. First it was like this. If ch equals space, index is 26 multiplied by 16. Sorry, forgot it. If it was this, if it was that, if it was a 3, if it was a 4, if it was a 5, if it was a 6. Silliest code you can find in a program. People were telling someone should make a meme on this, and someone really did. So then someone said, oh, why haven't you written it like this? And he just replaced it. Anyway, I'm not trying to make fun of him or create a fun video. I'm showing you how not to create an OS, and will tell you how to write an OS if you are interested, how to start it. So this is it. It has a put string here. If I scroll all the way down, this is the main part of the kernel. It initializes a timer, keyboard, mouse, reads this, initialize a VGA, and then prints version blah blah, then initializes some memory with all the issues in it, then waits for half a second for trolling, and then goes to the jump user mode. The user mode is here. Let me search for this one too. So user mode, this is this function which goes to this one, and it's again in the kernel. In the kernel you have your user init. What user init does is create one block of the task control. Let's peek into this definition. This is how he handles his task control, which is fun. He has his task control blocks here, and it is only, ow, I'm writing on the wrong direction. He has a void, which is the task itself. This is nice. He has an is active. You saw when he's killing it, he just changes inactive to false, and there is a name. In his case, names ends in exe to imitate Windows systems. So he initializes 2 blocks, then creates system thread, which is R. His shell is his main thread. Then creates a con file, which is very strange because Windows cannot have a con. So I believe he's reserving con for something. Then shows some color, writes ver soft blah blah, starting Free95. Color is this, waits for half a second. Color is this, waits for half a second. This is exactly what was happening here. When he was changing these colors. This is the starting animation, I believe. So later, this is his main loop in the user init. He fills the whole rectangular, hard-coded, then pulls the mouse, creates the mouse, shows the mouse. If there is any task, does the task, calls that function. Then sleep and add one to the task and loop on all the tasks. So practically this program cannot do anything. And all the kills you saw are the hard-coded, totally useless. Anyway, sorry for making joke of him and or wasting your time. But I wasted my time, so you shouldn't. If you wanted to write an operating system, there are different projects. One is Vine, which is really, really interesting. It's not technically an operating system, but very, very close to the main thing. See, Wine, originally an acronym for Wine, is not an emulator, it's a compatibility layer. What happens? If you want to write a Windows system, you should find all Windows system calls and write them down. This is exactly what happened with Linus Torvalds when he was writing Linux kernel. He got a list of all system calls a Unix system should have, or Unix-like, started writing them down one by one and filling the functions. If you are writing into the file, this should happen. If there is an interrupt from keyboard, this should happen. Whatever this happens, happens. And then he was trying, for example, to compile sh and run it as a main system and see what happens. So system booted up, loaded the Linux kernel and ran sh. And there were some different errors. Oh, there is a function which I'm not implemented, so I have to implement this. Next run. Oh, I have to implement this. You could have all the calls, the ones you need or prefer in your Unix-like, because you are not going to be 100% Unix compatible. So you just write all the functions, return back, this is not implemented, not implemented, not implemented. Then try to compile and run this. And you see not implemented, so go and implement this. This is how you write an operating system. Even in the case of our friend, he has tried to do this. So he has something like a Win32, which is trying to implement all known Windows functions, which are super, super huge and very difficult to do. For example, fswrite, it compares with the file name with the con, and don't understand, and tries to do it. Very, very ugly. Or nswrite file, or write file. Write file gets a file handle and a buffer and tries to write the buffer in the handle and returns true without looking at the results or anything. he's trying to do this. If you continue doing this, you will have a Windows compatible system. But is it possible? Very difficult. Ask Wine guys. Wine guys are trying to let's speak like this. You have an executable file, Windows executable file, and if you run this, it is calling lots of system calls. And you are running this on a Windows, for example, Linux machine. So this is a Windows call to write a file on a disk. If you translate this to the equivalent call in Linux, this will work somehow. So you have a compatibility layer. You have your Windows executable here. You run it. Every single call should be translated to something on Linux. Maybe something translates to 2 different things, or 3 different things goes to 1 call. At the end, all of this should work as expected, and your executable will run with this compatibility layer. This is what Wine is doing, and they've been doing it for more than a decade, or decades, I'm sure. So now they can run even some AAA games with no issues. They can run Office and many things on Linux. There is another project that is the React OS. Again, another try to do the same thing, having a compatible operating system. Maybe better to say an operating system which can run Windows executables directly on it. So it's another try, which is huge. And if you wanted to start doing OS development, the best possible start is going to the osdevelopment.org. Here you will find tons and tons of resources to write your own operating system. Disclaimer or spoiler: if you are going to write something which is better than Windows and Linux and Mac, it would be super difficult and maybe impossible. Wine people are trying to just imitate Windows for a long time, and still they are not perfect, although they are perfect. If you go here, there are some forums where you can go and talk, but you can start from the introduction, seeing what is an operating system, how it should boot, and many of your questions are answered here, even which language I should use. I'm not sure if it's here or not, but they will speak about it. But how to boot a computer, how to read from mouse, how to initialize my graphical environment, how to show a font, everything goes here. Beginner mistakes, very interesting. It talks about your beginner mistakes from your scope, what you want to do, how long it will take, how much work is it. And also there are some requirements knowledge, what you need. This is not a very simple thing, but it's not that difficult. If you just want to create something, to boot something, show some message, read a keyboard, you can start and you will learn a lot, I'm sure. Have fun. This was Jati.